Well, this is Steve Ridgel, and as most of you know, I'm a sports fan. For instance, my college team is the Arkansas Razorbacks. All my people grew up in Arkansas, so I was inoculated early. And you know, it's a really good time to be an Arkansas Razorback fan. Our baseball team's one of the best teams in the nation. Our pro baseball program is one of the best in the nation, and that's neat. And boy, the Razorbacks win in gymnastics and tennis and softball. They're a track legend, men's and women's. They're really, really good. Basketball, we've got John Calipari, and so it's going to be an exciting time. And well, except football, I don't know. I like Sam Pittman, their coach. We just can't quite get it together, and I don't know how good we're going to be. And boy, but that's okay because I'm a big Dallas sports fan because I grew up in the Dallas area, and so living out here in West Texas is still close enough to follow. And boy, is it a good time to be a Dallas sports fan. The Rangers won the World Series. How great is that? The Stars are in the second round of the hockey playoffs. The Mavericks, second round of the basketball playoffs. It is great, well, except for the whole cowboy thing. You know, and you say, oh, yeah, what do you think about the Cowboys? Well, boy, I think the Cowboys are great. They will win big in the regular season. We will be a dominant program and run to the playoffs and trip over our shoelace. And when you try to get up, the shoe comes off. And then somebody steps on our foot, and then we fall on our face. And every year we choke it in the playoffs. I don't know. Jerry Jones assures us it will be better this year. And I think he believes it. I just think he's been saying that for 30 years. And you know, you're going, okay, usually you talk about Jesus stuff, so what does all that have to do with Jesus? You know, I started off with both Arkansas and Dallas with all the great things that are happening in those sports, and then focusing on the one thing that doesn't. And if we're not careful, we'll do our spiritual life that way. God's given me so much, but what about this one area? What about this one thing? What about, let's don't play that game. God's been really good to us. As a Christian, I know that. Man, He has forgiven me. I'm going to live forever in heaven, and He has given me so much more than I ever asked or imagined. I never need to focus on the one thing that isn't going exactly like I think it ought to because, well, one thing is God always knows best. And so if I'm asking God for something in an area and He's saying no, trust me on this. God knows best. There's a reason He doesn't answer all my prayers like I want them because, well, I'm not God and He is. And so I want to focus on all the good things God has done for me, and they are amazing. And so every once in a while I'm thinking about sports, and I'm like, man, things are great, but boy, I wish the Razorback football team or the Dallas Cowboys would. Every other thing is so great in my sports fandom. So, you know, I need to take that lesson spiritually and remember that really everything's so good in my life. I don't ever need to focus on the one or two things that aren't quite going the way I wish they would because everything else is so good. And for that, I thank you, God.